Nathan Miller was known for violence long before the world knew his name. Not the reckless kind seen in street fights, but the disciplined, devastating violence of a man who had learned early that power was the only language Payne respected. By the time he was 25, his fists had earned him titles, headlines, and fear. But long before the belts, before the crowds, before the lights, Nathan had been fighting something no referee could see. He grew up in a house where silence meant danger. His father believed anger built men. His mother believed survival meant endurance. Nathan learned not to cry, not to hesitate, not to ask for help. When he discovered boxing at 13, it felt like home. The gym smelled of sweat and metal and control. Payne made sense there. Payne had rules. By 19, he was knocking men unconscious for money. Trainers praised his aggression. Commentators called him relentless. Fans called him unstoppable. What they didn't see was how every punch carried something old and unhealed. Nathan didn't fight opponency. Fought memories, shame, and a voice inside that never rested. Winning didn't quiet that voice. It made it louder. After his first professional title, Nathan celebrated alone. Surrounded by noise, it felt empty. The applause faded fast, but the anger stayed. Alcohol filled the nights. Women filled the gaps between fights. When sleep came, it came with nightmares, faces he couldn't name, fists he couldn't lower. Loss came suddenly. It wasn't a knockout. It was worse. A slow, humiliating defeat where Nathan unraveled round by round. His aggression became sloppy. His rage blinded him. The crowd turned on him before the final bell. The commentators said he lacked discipline. His coach said he lacked focus. Nathan knew the truth. He lacked peace. Losses multiplied. So did headlines. Out of control. Self-destructing. A champion in decline. Sponsors left. Trainers distanced themselves. The gym that once felt like home became a reminder of failure. The drinking worsened. So did the drugs. Nathan told himself they helped him sleep, helped him forget. In reality, they stripped away the last pieces of control he had. He fought in underground matches just to feel something again. Violence without glory. Pain without purpose. One night, after a brutal win no one would ever see, Nathan collapsed in a locker room. His knuckles bled. His chest burned. For the first time, fear cut through the rage. He thought he might die alone on a cold tile floor. That was when Daniel found him. Daniel Reyes had once shared the ring with Nathan years earlier. A disciplined fighter. Calm. Focused. The kind of man Nathan had mocked. Daniel retired early after a spinal injury and disappeared from the boxing world. Nathan hadn't thought of him in years. Daniel knelt beside him, not judging, not panicking, just present. "You don't have to live like this," Daniel said quietly. Nathan laughed bitterly. "You here to preach, Daniel?" "No." "Yes, but not at you." Nathan pushed himself upright, anger flaring. "I don't need God. I need another fight." Daniel didn't argue. He stood. "When you're tired of fighting everyone else, Jesus will help you fight yourself." Nathan threw a bottle at the wall after Daniel left. Weeks passed. Nathan's body weakened. His mind spiraled. He tried training again, But rage replaced rhythm. His punches lacked purpose. One night, alone in his apartment, surrounded by trophies that felt like lies, Nathan broke. Not loudly, quietly. He sank to the floor, back against the couch, head in his hands. No alcohol. No noise. Just exhaustion. "I don't know how to stop," he whispered. He wasn't sure who he was talking to. He didn't care. The words came next, unfamiliar and awkward. "If you're real, help me, or end this." Nothing dramatic happened. No voice, no vision, but something shifted. For the first time in years, Nathan slept through the night. The next morning felt different, not better. Quieter. The rage wasn't gone, but it wasn't screaming. Daniel's words echoed in his mind. Jesus. Peace. Disciplined. Nathan scoffed at himself. Still, he found Daniel's number. They met at a small church gym. No cameras, no ring lights, just folding chairs and worn Bibles. Daniel didn't preach. He listened. Nathan talked for hours. About his father, about fear, about the anger he didn't know how to drop. Daniel opened a Bible, not dramatically, but gently. He read about Jesus calming storms, about strength through surrender, about discipline rooted in love, not rage. Nathan resisted, argued, mocked. But he kept coming back. Prayer didn't make him weaker. It made him aware. Training changed. Less ragey, more control. His punches became precise. His breathing steadied. He learned to pause, to listen, to forgive not others, yet but himself. The addictions loosened their grip slowly, painfully, but they loosened. Nathan returned to the ring months later, unnoticed by most. No headlines, no hype. Just a man stepping between ropes with a different fire. He didn't fight to destroy. He fought to endure. And for the first time, when the bell rang, Nathan Miller wasn't angry. He was free enough to learn. Nathan Miller did not wake up holy. The morning after that desperate prayer, the world did not soften. His body still ached. His reputation was still stained. His bank account was thin, and the mirror still reflected a man who had scared himself for years. But something unseen had shifted. The noise inside his chest had quieted, not gone, just gentler. For the first time in his life, he did not wake up angry. He sat on the edge of his bed and did something unfamiliar. He breathed. No punching the wall, no shouting at ghosts of opponents past. He whispered, unsure if anyone was listening. Jesus, if you're real, teach me how to fight without hate. Those words became the beginning of discipline of, the discipline of fists, but of the soul. Nathan's friend, Marcus, the retired boxer who had planted the seed of faith, did not rush him into church or overwhelm him with scripture. Instead, he walked beside him, quietly, patiently. Every morning, they trained together, but before gloves, there was prayer. Short, awkward, honest. Nathan hated how weak it made him feel at first. Bowing his head felt like surrender, and surrender had always meant losing. But Marcus reminded him gently, Jesus surrendered to the cross and change the world. That thought unsettled Nathan more than any punch ever had. In the gym, his old habits rage crept back during sparring. His fists tightened with familiar fury, but something new interrupted him. A pause. A choice. When anger surged, he stepped back. He breathed. He prayed under his breath, not for victory, but for control. His coach noticed before anyone else. "You're different," the man said one afternoon. "You're calmer, sharper. You're not swinging wild anymore." Nathan didn't explain. He couldn't yet. All he knew was that something was teaching him restraint. Restraint was making him dangerous in a new way. Outside the ring, the real battles intensified. Old drinking buddies mocked his sobriety. Media outlets laughed when they heard he was finding religion. Promoters hesitated. Sponsors stayed away. The boxing world didn't believe in redemption stories. Late one night, Dowell returned with full force. Nathan sat alone in his apartment, Bible open but unread, fists clenched. "Why is this so hard?" he asked aloud. "I did everything my way before. Why now?" The answer didn't come as a voice. It came as memory. Jesus in the garden, sweating blood, asking for the cup to pass. Still choosing obedience. Nathan closed his eyes. "Okay," he whispered. "I'll keep going." Weeks turned into months. His body healed differently now. Not fueled by rage, but by rhythm. His footwork improved. His defense sharpened. He studied opponents instead of hating them. His punches became precise, purposeful. He stopped fighting to punish and started fighting to master. Then came the offer. A mid-level bout. Small crowd. No headlines. No guarantees. The kind of fight champions once avoided and fallen fighters prayed for. Nathan accepted without hesitation. Fight night arrived quietly. No cameras swarming, no roaring arena, just the hum of anticipation and the smell of sweat and canvas. In the locker room, Nathan wrapped his hands slowly. He did not pace. He did not glare at himself in the mirror. He knelt. "Jesus," he prayed, "I fight for discipline tonight, for humility. Whatever happens, I trust you." The bell rang. His opponent came out aggressive, expecting the old Nathan the wild brawler, fueled by rage. But that man didn't show up. Nathan moved calmly, absorbing pressure, countering cleanly. When hit, he didn't retaliate in anger. When cornered, he didn't panic. Round after round, something extraordinary happened. Nathan enjoyed the fight. Not the violence, the clarity. He won by unanimous decision. No roar, no champagne. Just quiet victory. Backstage, a reporter asked, "What changed, Nathan Pousset?" His old instincts told him to boast. His new heart told him to testify. "I stopped fighting everyone else," he said, "and started fighting myself. Jesus taught me that." The clip barely aired. But something had been ignited. Fights followed. Bigger ones. Harder ones. Nathan lost some, won others. But he never lost control again. Win or lose, he knelt after every bout. Sometimes on camera. Sometimes unseen. Critics Softened fans returned. Younger fighters began asking questions not about technique, but about peace. Why don't you rage anymore? How do you stay focused? What happened to you? Nathan always answered the same way. I met Jesus when I had nothing left. The championship opportunity came unexpectedly. A title holder needed a replacement opponent on short notice. Nathan's name was low on the list, but his disciplined, recent performances and growing fan respect pushed him up. The fight was brutal. 12 rounds of pain, strategy, endurance. Nathan bled. His ribs screamed. Doubt whispered again, but this time he wasn't alone in the ring. Between rounds, he prayed silently. Not for strength, but for obedience. Help me stay who I've become. In the final round, exhausted and focused, Nathan landed a combination that dropped the champion. The count reached 10. The arena erupted. Nathan Miller was champion again. But this time, he didn't climb the ropes. He didn't shout. He knelt in the center of the ring, tears cutting through sweat and blood. When handed the microphone, the crowd expected bravado. Instead, they heard truth. I fought for years with hate in my heart, he said. It made me strong but empty. Jesus taught me discipline without rage, purpose without pride. This belt doesn't define me. Faith does. Some cheered, some scoffed, but many listened. In the years that followed, Nathan defended his title not endlessly, but intentionally. He knew when to step away. He opened a gym focused on discipline, mental health, and faith-based mentorship. Young fighters came broken, angry, and lost. Nathan didn't judge them. He saw himself. He taught them footwork and forgiveness, conditioning and control, strength and surrender. On the wall of the gym hung a simple phrase: fight the enemy within. Jesus handles the rest. Nathan Miller had once fought everyone but himself. Now, he fought for something eternal, and that made him undefeated.